Why Sanji will 100% fight Lafitte, not Burgess or Pizarro. Many people believe that Sanji will either fight Burgess or Pizarro. Even though those pairings are popular, they make no sense. Sanji will fight Demon Sheriff Lafitte. Burgess has a completely different body type. He has tiny legs, for example. Oda planned the Blackbeard pirates so many years ago to be ideal opponents for the Straw Hats. It will fit better than this. Pizarro is considered a plausible candidate to fight Sanji because he was a king in North Blue. Sanji was a prince from North Blue. So they are both former royalty from the same sea. But Sanji doesn't care about his family. He left him a long time ago. He doesn't identify as a Vinsmoke anymore. Burgess and Pizarro are simply too weak for Sanji. Lafitte is stronger than both. When Pizarro stated he wanted to take over the Blackbeard pirates, Lafitte confidently threatened to kill him. That was the end of that discussion. The former level 6 prisoner. Just shut up. Burgess gets bosses around my Lafitte even more. They are all Titanic captains now. They have the same rank. That Pizarro and Burgess act submissive towards Lafitte then is most likely explained by a difference in strength. Lafitte has to be pretty strong. Blackbeard sent him to Marijoa, a dangerous place for pirates. High-ranking officers had already heard of him, from his time in West Blue. And at Marineford, at least in the anime, he was presented as the third strongest Blackbeard pirate. The matchups between Red Hair and Blackbeard pirates were shown from weakest, Yassip Augur, to strongest, Shanks Blackbeard. Luffy's matchup was shown right before that of Shiryui. So he is the number 3 just like Sanji is in his crew. Sanji and Lafitte have a similar fighting style. A popular but absurd idea is that Lafitte will fence with Brook. Because both carry a cane, they just assume that Lafitte also has a sword hidden inside his walking stick. Not every cane has a blade inside. Most don't. Lafitte would have drawn it when he helped kill Whitebeard, if it did exist. But he used pistols like the other Blackbeard pirates who fight with their bodies. Burgess and Blackbeard, who also shotguns, for example, use punches normally. Lafitte has thin arms, but long legs. He probably kicks. He has good footwork. He even demonstrated that he is a good step dancer. He also has wings, appropriate for the opponent of one of the wings of Luffy. Lafitte can fly. Sanji can too via the moonwalk technique. Very unusual skill. Imagine a Straw Hat without the ability to fly had to deal with Lafitte. But it is not just that. The origin of those wings is interesting too. In a databook it was stated that they don't necessarily come from a devil fruit. If we compare them to the wings of Sky Islanders, we see that it is also unlikely that Lafitte is one of them. Not a devil fruit, not part of his race. Then where do those wings come from? One possibility that would also be a parallel to Sanji is genetic engineering. Blackbeard knew the Book of Devil Fruits. The only other person with that knowledge is Sanji, who had access to it because his father was in Mads. So it is possible that Blackbeard knows it because he was an experiment of Vegapunk. Lafitte is around the same age of Blackbeard and could have been the first one to be recruited. If that is the case, it would be plausible that he is an experiment of Vegapunk too. That could be the reason for Teach and the Demon Sheriff even knowing each other. So just like Sanji was genetically modified by Judge, Lafitte was by Vegapunk. Lafitte can hypnotize people, which he did to impel down guards, so they would open the gate of justice. He is a trickster, just like so many of Sanji's opponents have been in the past. Think back to Jabra, who would feign peacefulness to then surprise attack, Mr. Two who would change into other people to trick them, or recently Queen who copied the raid suit abilities and tried to defeat Sanji with invisibility. Sanji gets challenged by those people because he is smart and a trickster too. Lafitte was picked to infiltrate Maryjoa. Sanji, as Mr. Prince, fooled Crocodile in Little Garden and later in Alabaster. Sanji's first opponent in the series was Jin, nicknamed the Demon. Lafitte is called the Demon Sheriff. As a sheriff he behaved so unnecessarily cruel so that he lost his job. We have seen a lot of Marines who didn't treat civilians well and didn't face any repercussions. So what he did must have been quite nasty, if it prompted the government to act. Lafitte's personality is the opposite of Sanji's. Sanji is a caring guy, he has a lot of empathy. When he sees someone in pain he has to help. When Jin of the Don Greek pirates came to the Barati starving, Sanji had to give him food, even though he knew the risk of nursing dangerous pirates back to full strength. Lafitte was a cruel sheriff, a full-blown psychopath. So Lafitte is just like Sanji's brothers, who tormented him as a child. Judge wanted Sanji to be like the other Vinsmoke boys, but because he had too much empathy he was kicked out of the family. When Sanji feared the raid suit had taken away his emotions, he asked Zoro to kill him. With Lafitte, Sanji will have to face what tormented him in his childhood, what his father expected him and what he feared most to become. There is no pirate that Sanji would rather stomp into the ground. His perfect opponent.